So now that we've established that you have an issue with overeating, there are a couple practices that I'd like you to try within the next few weeks. The first one is this mindful eating exercise. It's from Susan Alber's book called Eat, Drink, and Be Mindful.
Okay.
And what this exercise is it helps you to slow down and actually taste your food, smell it, touch it, really notice it and connect with it so that when you're eating, you can notice it. So normally...
You mean when I'm eating normally or when I'm doing this practice?
Both. So this practice will help you do that, but this will help you gain the skills for when you are eating. It can help you eat mindfully on a regular basis.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to take any piece of food, so a potato chip, raisin, pretzel, whatever you want, and you're going to hold it, smell it, really notice what it feels like, and then you're going to put it in your mouth. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to taste it, and again, notice the texture, and then start chewing it and eat it. Make sure to really pay attention to it, mm-hmm. and then finally swallow it and, I guess, notice it entering your stomach.
Okay.
So then, after you do that, there are a couple questions on this handout. The handout has exactly what you're supposed to be doing, so you'll be able to follow it.
Okay.
And then answer the questions that ask, I guess, how does it feel? How does it taste? How did you feel? Any thoughts or questions you had? And then afterwards, we're going to go over it.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Let's go. Thanks. Okay.
So how did the practice go?
The practice was interesting.
That's good. So do you want to share any of your main points with me?
I had a single bite-sized tortilla chip. And you asked me to answer a few questions. Should I read the questions and give you my answers?
Yeah.
Okay, you asked me to look at the food and describe what I see, what it looks like, and to describe the color and the shape. It was a bite-sized tortilla chip, so it was practically symmetrical, round. It was contoured. If I looked at it really closely, I've probably had 1 million of them in my lifetime, and it's the first time I ever noticed the contours, the symmetry, and the lack of consistency of color, or should I say multiplicity of color. Probably 12 different colors, maybe 100 hues in a 1-inch diameter piece of food.
Good.
You asked me to describe the aroma. And the aroma was, I got two sensations. One was, it was Mexican. It smelled Mexican, like Mexican food generally. That unique smell that I can't describe, but I know it when I smell it. And secondly is it smelled like grain. I don't know if it is grain, I don't know if it's wheat, so whatever like a field smells like where grain is grown. That's what it smelled like. You asked me to describe how it sounded. It had an incredible sound because when you bite any type of chip, including this one, it's one of those things where the sound inside your head is like a cacophony, but you know that outside your head it's completely soundless. So it was remarkably loud. You asked me, how does the food feel in my mouth and what is the texture? It went from hard, very, hard because it's not malleable. It breaks immediately. To crunchy, to practically textureless, except for the pieces that remained and continue to remain in the recesses of my teeth. Um, you asked me also to describe the flavor. Um, Almost exactly the same answers as my answers to how it smells.
Mm.
The flavor was just uniquely Mexican, and the other flavor that I sensed was um, the green, that green experience. For some reason I'm taking to the movie Gladiator, where the main character walks through the field of grain, and the
All
smell
right.
and the taste gave me the exact same feeling and visual image. To describe the temperature, it was room temperature. It is nondescript as temperature goes. And then finally, what thoughts come to my mind when I ate it? Again, Mexico. Um, and it made me think about parties that mom throws at home when I'm not allowed to use the dip yet.
Well, that's
And that's it.
all right. How did you feel about this experience as a whole? Anything additional you want to share? How you felt? What you think about it?
I think I'm never mindful of my food. I almost never concentrate on the experience. It's always a secondary thing or subconscious thing. And that's probably a problem because I really enjoyed that one tortilla chip.
Did you? Well,
Yeah.
so do you think this practice would benefit you in the future, or even if it did just today?
If I concentrate on doing this every time I eat, I'm sure that I would eat less.
That's great. I'm glad you put so much thought into it. I'm glad it was successful for you.
With a teacher like you, how could I not succeed? Thank you, Emma.